And then we've got some folks still coming in the Zoom room. It's good to have everybody. My name's Travis. I have lost more than 100 pounds with the Shibboleth lifestyle, come off all prescription medication. And now I have brothers and sisters all over the planet, mostly in the U.S., but some not even in the U.S., that have adopted the Shibboleth lifestyle, one that I believe is inspired of God, and use that to get their health back, to feel better about themselves. And I assume that everybody here has that common goal. We have a lot of things that separate us, but we've all come together here today with a common goal. We've got enough overlap that we can travel in this wellness journey together. Pray for one another, help one another. I like to say friends helping friends. That's what we're doing. Helping one another live an abundant life, a healthy life in Christ, and to get control over this compulsion to eat. And that's what it is. It's a compulsion, years of bad habits. That was my deal. So we're going to snap out of it. We're going to get our health back, our life back. And, you know, we say in class a lot, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Well, with Shibboleth, you really can if you think about it. There's nothing you can't have on Shibboleth. You just can't have what you want, when you want, as much as you want every day, and also live a healthy and well life. You could eat what you want, when you want. You're a free person. You need to love yourself where you are, no matter where you are or how much weight you feel like you need to lose. Just love yourself right there. And in fact, the culture's teaching that. They're teaching it. I just don't think that their heart's right about it. You're hearing more and more that to tell someone that they need to lose weight is fat shaming. And I guess if you tell someone that doesn't want to lose weight that they're overweight, that is a type of fat shaming. And our culture is even saying just accept where you are. But I think it's for nefarious reasons. I don't think it's for pure intentions. I love and accept everybody right where they are. But folks that ask me how I lost my weight and they ask for help, I want to help them. I want to let them know about the many benefits of nutritional education, behavior modification, and just living unto the Lord. Living unto the Lord. That's what we're here to do. So anyway, welcome. I'm happy to help if you need help. If you don't, I love you. We can be friends without talking nutrition. So good to have you. Good to have. Hey, Polly, got Polly with us in the house today. Good to have Miss Polly. Before we get into it today, we will have some time for Q&A. Most of our time will be spent in Q&A. I want to give you some feedback, or not feedback, but let you know what's going on Planet Shibboleth. We started last night. Had our informational meeting about our master classes that we're going to have in the month of February. Master class starts February the 1st. Had a great group last night, and we said that we would get those master classes started if we have 20 folks that wanted to start together and go through a 24-day program together. And we had more than 20. I'm very thankful for those. I've already started sending back emails accepting folks who wanted to get in and involved with our masterclass in February. If you have not heard from me yet, well, it's like, when you're running a small business ministry, your schedule is easily disrupted, but you will hear from me today. I'm still returning emails. I'm so appreciative of everybody that's going to embark on that masterclass journey with me. We're going to lose a lot of weight, going to have fun, make new friends. So if you haven't heard from me yet, don't be alarmed. You will hear from me and you will get class notes. I just have to close my door and turn all these social media devices off and finish it up. But just wanted to let you know, if you're waiting on me and haven't heard from me, you're not being overlooked. We're going to get that to you. So just wanted to throw that out there. Also, we want to remind folks that are getting started with us that the best place to get started, I know it can be confusing if you're trying to do it all, right? We've got multiple weight loss challenges going, multiple live classes going all the time, and it can be confusing. Where do I start? A new person on Planet Shibboleth should start with the fast track system. Every beginner, every Shibboleth lifestyle member, you've become a part of a family. You're embarking on a journey that's going to be very rewarding if if you invest yourself into it. Maybe one of the most rewarding things you've ever done. But that journey, a thing that starts right will end right, that journey begins in our fast track lap system. We want you to go through those 7 laps, understand what you've read and studied, take that little test, and then pass that test and earn that fast track badge. That's going to allow for all the other things that you pick up and learn and hear to make more sense. If you're new, you almost have to do this for a while, because so many of our members, they've been around so long, they've begun to personalize their own Shibboleth journey. But they also started off with that correct foundation. We've got to get you off to a good start and make sure you understand our fast track system, our Shibboleth lifestyle in general, or a lot of what we do here forward won't make sense to you, and you'll get frustrated and you'll leave us. So earn that fast track badge. Let's see, got some questions already coming here. Dawn, I missed the webinar last night. I was driving. Can I watch it somewhere? You can. Did you register for it, Dawn? If you registered for it, you'll get the class notes. Always make sure that you check your spam folders, your promotional folders, and that's where our stuff usually ends up, because we have to go through constant contact. We can't even go through our website anymore with emails. It doesn't appear, at least for some time. We're living in a weird time. It's really hard to do what we do, because we talk so much about these words that are being banned that get picked up algorithmically, like Jesus and weight loss and fat loss and things like that. So a lot of times we're going to get sent right over into your promotional folders. Please check your promotional folder every day for if you're waiting on something from me. It may not land directly in your inbox. Dawn, if you registered for that, then you'll get those class notes later today, and it'll have that video. It's not too late to get started with us on February the 1st. So really excited. I'm going to do my best to leave everyone speechless at the end of 24 days. I want them to feel like, man, Travis really overdid it with trying to help us and give us value. I really get a lot out of that. It's just how God built me. I'm going to do my best to help people lose weight and give them way more than they ever expected. So come go with us. It's not too late if you didn't get on board last night. I'm going to throw this at you, and then it's my little monologue for the day, and then I'm going to answer these good questions I see starting to come. You can start posting your questions now here in the Zoom room, and we'll pick those up. But I want to throw this at you. One of the obstacles that I see for many of our members is our members are intelligent. Our members are very intelligent, highly intelligent. And like me, they are connected to an exhaustive amount of information, right? You've got more information at your fingertips today than ever before. And a lot of that information, we're intelligent, but we're also trusting. And a lot of that information that we have at our fingertips, at our disposal, is not good information, especially the nutritional information that you see out there. I will say again, the only way to lose body fat is to operate in a calorie deficit and to control insulin. If you're not engaged with a program like that, you're probably not going to have much success long term. You're going to get started, and with every program, you can lose water and waste that first week or two, but that doesn't necessarily mean you've lost much fat. We need a well-balanced nutrition program that helps us preserve muscle and lose body fat, and it has to be a practical, sustainable, and fun program. We don't want to see a program, we don't want to adhere to a program long-term that excludes a macronutrient. For example, we've got a couple of different type days. We call it our food elimination plan. We've got a line and shark day where you start with basically eliminating carbohydrate and then you add them back later. But notice we add them back later. So sometimes it's okay to temporarily suspend consumption of a certain macro for a certain reason. But if you try to suspend consumption of a macronutrient or a food group permanently, that's going to ultimately backfire on you. As well, if it's a program that requires only meal replacements or only vacuum sealed meals that you buy off the internet or whatever, anything that you can't live with forever is going to end up being a waste of your time. And we get all this information about this kind of protein's bad, this kind of carbs bad, Splenda's bad, or we get all this information and you should be eating 5 or 6 meals a day. And what happens when you start a program like Shibboleth, something that gives you an aha moment, maybe you've heard hearing things that don't give you an aha moment, then you hear something, hey, that sounds pretty cool that Shibboleth's teaching. Let me mingle that with some other plan that I also believe in. Shibboleth's not built that way. I'm sorry, I wish it was, but it's just not built that way. Because with Shibboleth, if you're not really following Shibboleth, it might be, I hate to say this about our own program, it might end up being one of the worst programs you ever do. Because if you're having a Shibboleth day where there's a lot of fat in your diet that particular day, and then at the end of the day, you decide that, hey, I'm going to follow the Weight Watchers point system, and I can have this popcorn because I would normally have some points left. And then you eat that popcorn right around that high fat meal and you have a little too much popcorn, you're going to store that fat. So with us, it's either you're all in or you're not. Now, thank goodness it's practical, sustainable, and fun. This is not a diet. This is a lifestyle. No pills or potions ever necessary. If you want to consume certain supplements, I do. I'm a supplement junkie. I don't need them. They give me an edge, but I'd still get to my destination without them because Shibboleth and its food combining methods are so powerful. But let's take a look at, let me read this to you real quick, and you'll see why I have these philosophies. Oops. I am over in Luke chapter 5, verse 36 through 39. He also told them a parable. No one tears a piece from a new garment and puts it on an old garment. If he does, he will tear the new, and the piece from the new will not match the old. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins. If he does, the new wine will burst the skins, and it will be spilled, and the skins will be destroyed. But new wine must be put into fresh wineskins. And no one, after drinking old wine, desires new, for he says the old is good. So just that thought, if you will think about when you're adopting a new lifestyle after years and years of bad information and bad habits, we can't mesh those two together. They often, it won't turn out right. We are looking at, you have an old brain, and now we're trying to install a new brain. And we don't want the new brain and the old brain trying to cohabitate together. We want you to be all in. It is practical, sustainable, and fun. It leaves nothing out, so why not be all in? And one of the philosophies that we're built on is that we live one day at a time. One day at a time. We're not worried about what we did yesterday. We're not worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. We're worried about our eating lifestyle today. And there's various types of Shibboleth days. There's the perfect day. There's the holiday. And then as you get out of fast track and go into the Shibboleth journey, you learn about more restrictive days like the intermittent fasting day or a divine day, which is nothing but organic foods with no chemical additives, etc. Then you learn about the Tiger 16, the 24, the 36, the Lion Day, the Shark Day. Well, Travis, that seems awful confusing. No. How many of you know right now that your state of mind, is there anybody like me? I guess that's the only people the program really will appeal to anyway. My state of mind changes every day. On a day that I feel like doing a Lion Day, and I follow the Lion Day protocol, I get great results and I feel great. And I'm like, this is what I'm doing forever. And then I can get up the next day like, I don't want to do that. Is there anybody else like that? It ought not be that way, but we have to embrace the way things are. So yeah, me too, April. I need a lot of variety. My state of mind is always changing. My situation is always changing. Therefore, I have to be able to adapt without sacrificing my goals. It's easy for me when I go on a trip to have a lion and shark day. I just order meat, and stick with that. But when I'm at home, I might desire a salad. I might desire a potato. And I need to know, what do I combine with that potato so that I can keep moving toward my goals. And then if I mess up, it's a holiday. So if you mess up on other programs, you're not aware. You think, well, my calories was fine. You're not thinking about the hormonal release inside of your body because you combine fat and starch. You got to think about all that. Shibboleth does all of that so we can live one day at a time and label that day correctly. And then we can monitor like an accountant. We can monitor our month on our weekly calendar. And we can say, oh, I've had a few too many holidays. Let me tighten up. If you're following most protocols, you don't really pay attention. You're eating unawarely or mindlessly. And you don't realize that, hey, that day I spiked my insulin levels way too high. So now I need to spend a few days letting those insulin levels abate some so that I can get back into EFB. So we're teaching all that on a daily basis. So don't try to mingle two programs. And I appreciate the people that try that, but it will not end well for you. If you're going to do Weight Watchers, do Weight Watchers. Do your best with Weight Watchers. If you're going to do Jenny Craig, do your best with. If you're going to do a CrossFit paleo type thing, do your best with that. There's a lot of ways to lose weight. You should pick the one that's practical, sustainable, and that you can do long term without sacrificing enjoyment. See, I love the Shibboleth lifestyle. Some folks that want to eat, let's say that you just got to have you got to have your donut every day. Well, you would not want to do Shibboleth. If you got to have a donut every day, if you got to have a donut more than 12 times a month, then you probably need to choose like a Weight Watcher system and have your donut and then really monitor your points the rest of the day and stay below your points. You're probably going to sacrifice a lot of muscle and a lot of health down the road, but it will work for you. If you are consuming a donut with us and then later you're having your steak, you're talking about major fat storage. So we don't want you to do that. We want you to live the Shibboleth lifestyle if it's the right lifestyle for you. Hey, everybody. Now, I see questions already coming, so I'm going to get right into it. Greta, are you going to have time to talk about maintaining muscle tone while losing weight? I will do that for you today, Greta. I do want to point everyone to the many videos that are in the video library concerning this topic. So for those of you that can't stay, or you've heard this a lot of times, or you need a revisit of it, please, in the video library, you will find much information about this. So Greta, if we don't vet this thoroughly enough for you today, then please connect with Joni or one of our mentors and let them give you several links to those videos where I vet this out more thoroughly due to time allowances. But yeah, let me help you with that. So first of all, muscle tone, right? So muscle tone, conditioning muscle, living in a conditioned body, it will take some exercise. A lot of folks do not want to exercise. I lost all of my weight without any exercise, but I lost a lot of muscle. I lost a lot of muscle tone. I didn't lose as much muscle as most do when they lose as much weight as I do. People often say, Travis, you don't look like you've lost over 100 pounds. That's because I subscribe to food combining at least 3 eating episodes a day. I was getting plenty of protein. So first off, if I want to maintain my muscle, preserve my muscle, then I'm going to have adequate amounts of protein daily and at least weekly. You know, if you miss the mark in a given day, it's no big deal if you can make up for it the next day. But over the course of 3-4 days a week, you want to make sure that you're getting adequate amounts of protein. Now, that's easily accomplished with the Shibboleth lifestyle if you are food combining properly, because every meal episode is going to have an adequate amount of protein for you to absorb in that eating episode. So that's one thing. You've got to make sure that you get enough protein, or that muscle tissue is going to break down. Why is protein so important for muscle tone and muscle preservation? Because it has the building blocks of life in it, and it has all of the essential and non-essential building blocks, which is, does anybody know what the essential building blocks of muscle is? And you find all of the essential and non-essential blank in meat. Very good, amino acids. I call amino acids gut be gone, butt be gone. In fact, I'm really big on taking branched chain amino acids every day, whether you're exercising or not. I take AdvoCare Catalyst every single day. That's branched chain amino acids that really help promote muscle preservation, muscle tone, and the rebuilding of muscle. Now, you're not breaking down very much muscle because you're exercising. Most of us are not exercising, but you can break down muscle tissue when you're operating in a calorie deficit if you're not getting enough protein. So that's number one. If you want to preserve muscle, you've got to have your protein, especially those essential amino acids. The difference between essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids is just that. Your body can produce certain amino acids by itself. Therefore, they're non-essential. Your body produces them. Essential amino acids are amino acids that your body cannot produce by itself and needs to get it through food. Fortunately, we can find all essential amino acids in animal foods, animal product foods. Animal foods contain all essential and non-essential amino acids. Plant foods do not contain all essential amino acids. So if you're living the vegan approach and you're not wanting to eat meat for some reason, then you're going to need to supplement with amino acid supplements and also B12 and some other supplements as well, if that's your chosen path. You still got to control insulin, vegan or not, or you're not going to lose much body fat. You'll probably have to work on upping your protein too if you want to subscribe to the vegan lifestyle. And I suspect because of climate change and the political climate and all the stuff that's going on in our world, that you're going to see more and more of a manipulative push to get people to move to a plant-based diet. That's fine. We'll teach people how to do that. But it won't be long that us meat eaters are treated like back in the day cigarette smokers were, except for cigarettes are harmful to your health. Meat is not harmful to your health. It's vital for health. I'll hush there, or I'll get on my soapbox. So make sure you're getting your amino acids to preserve muscle, to tone muscle, etc. Now, when you say tone, I suspect what you're talking about is strengthening the muscle having a beautiful visage. You want tone muscle. Well, that requires shedding the fat that lays over that muscle, getting in adequate amounts of protein, and exercise. Another way to preserve muscle, even if you're not getting all the protein that you need, is you've got to use it or you'll lose it. The life and health of the flesh is in the blood. The blood contains the nutrients. So if we're not getting blood flow to a muscle, it's not going to be toned. And if you're in a calorie deficit, your body could potentially start cannibalizing your muscle. We want to get blood flow. So the best way to preserve muscle is proper, adequate nutrition coupled with exercise. Now, I'm going to go on and let you follow up on this when I make this statement to see how much further you want to go with this topic. But one of the things that we're up against here is the clients are always wanting to lose body fat and put on muscle at the same time. Can that be done? I've got a lot of experienced students, so I want to see if you remember these lessons. Can you lose body fat and put on muscle at the same time? No. You hear that you can, and visually you can make it look like you've done just that. But it's impossible. You cannot, you can't go against nature, right? And you cannot lose body fat and put on muscle simultaneously. The reduction of body fat requires a calorie deficit. The increase of muscle mass requires a calorie surplus. You cannot do both at the same time. Now, when you see people who've had an amazing physique transformation, what happened was they were maintaining and preserving the muscle, they were toning it with exercise and getting rid of the fat that lay over that beautiful muscle. So it gives the visual like a person has put on muscle when they shed fat and then they condition their body, but they didn't put on new muscle. Now you can reconstitute old muscle, just like I could put all of my fat back on really fast because all those fat cells are still there. If you ever had more muscle, that muscle, those muscular cells are still there. So you can give the visual. Have you ever seen, y'all remember Arnold Schwarzenegger? How he did later in his life, he did Terminator 2, 3, or 4, or whatever. You'd see him as the governor, and there's some pictures you can go Google. He looked like he got chunky. Next thing you know, he's not a governor anymore, and he does a Terminator movie, and he looks like a bodybuilder again at like 60. How did that happen? He reconstituted, along with some growth hormone and steroids, he reconstituted old muscle. So you can, like, whatever muscle I ever had in the past, I can reconstitute it fast with getting blood flow to those muscular cells that are somewhat deflated. But you cannot put on new muscle until you go into a building phase. So what I recommend to people is we want to do aerobic type activities while we're trying to lose body fat, or we want to do high repetition resistance training, not with heavy loads. And we want to stay in a calorie deficit, control insulin. Then once we get all of our body fat off and we're happy, we've reached our body fat goal and our weight goal, then we can go into a bulking season. And what that means is we're now trying to build up. We're not going to eat ice cream. We're not going back to our old dietary habits. We're not going to be eating tater chips. In fact, muscle building takes much more discipline than fat loss does. Fat loss is more about this here, but muscle building, it's not just about what's up here. It's about you've really got to go for a complete body transformation. And you're willing to sacrifice a lot of time that most people aren't, eating a lot of meals, eating a lot of high quality meals, eating enough chicken that would make a billy goat puke. You've got to really get in a surplus of quality nutrition. In other words, you're breaking muscle tissue down with resistance training, heavy weight training, hard, heavy weights. I mean, you're not just doing, 20 reps with some bands. You're really putting max effort. You're getting 30, 40 sets a day of low rep, heavy weight training, and you're getting in a surplus of protein and a surplus of carbs. And then what happens is you begin to grow. You start putting on muscle and fat. Just like when you're losing weight, you're losing body fat and some muscle. When you start putting on muscle, even if you're eating really nothing but quality nutrition, you're going to start putting on fat and muscle. So you have a cutting season and you have a bulking season. And then you might spend 12 weeks in that bulking season, and now you put on 30 pounds, and 7 of that was muscle and the rest of it was fat. Now we go back into cutting season and we try to hold and preserve that new muscle we put on while we cut the fat. And it's just a process. You cannot do both at the same time. You can give the illusion that you did both at the same time, but you can't do both at the same time. Now, Greta, where do you want to take this conversation? I'm going to be waiting on other questions too. What specific question do you have? Are you looking for specific exercises? What are you looking for now that we've kind of laid out that foundation and we can't do both at the same time? And we can go dive a little deeper in with your question. Questions, comments, anyone? Hey, Angela on Facebook. Can y'all still hear me? I ain't had a question in a little while. Yes, got a private question. Can I share today's Lunch and Learn seminar with a friend? Please do so. Anytime I'm on a Facebook page, it's very much appreciated if you share it. Some things we don't do on Facebook, we may or may not want those shared, but anytime you see something we're broadcasting on Facebook, please share. We would love for you to share. We want to help everybody that has a willing and wanting heart lose weight. Any questions online in Zoom room? If you don't have any more questions, we'll let you go early today. I got a lot of folks in our master class I got to get some information to, but I'm happy to continue answering questions here. Greta, did I answer that at all for you, my friend, or you need more? More to than bodybuilding. Can you, I don't understand, more to ing, more toning than bodybuilding. So what you're looking for there, if you're wanting to tone, my friend, you want to continue consuming, following the bulletproof shield. You follow the bulletproof shield. Now, if you want to dial in and get the right grams of protein, you really want to be disciplined like that, the right grams of protein, the right grams of fat, that's probably a side conversation that you and I need to have, or go through the master class. We're going to be helping people come up with the exact amount of protein they need and all that. But it's really not necessary unless you're going to compete. If you just follow the Shibboleth shield, 3 eating episodes a day, you should be fine. What you will need to do is begin an exercise routine to tone. And what I recommend is band work. Are you familiar with the X3 bar? That's a good bar, X3 bar. And then there's some knockoff bars on Amazon. If you want to email me, I'll send you some I recommend. And then you just start you a workout regimen. And what we're looking for is you not working out until failure, but you have to get blood flow to those muscles that you're trying to tone. What muscles, pray tell, are you trying to tone? Are you trying to tone the abs, trying to tone the arms, the back? What are you trying to accomplish? We're going to need a lot of specifics in order to point you in the right direction. Does Spark break your fast? Patricia, it depends on the research that you're looking at. Some folks think caffeine downregulates the benefits of autophagy just a little bit, and it may, but to me, it's not enough that I'm going to suspend use of coffee or Spark. So no, in my personal journey, I do not count Spark as breaking the fast. Good question. April, do I know if I'll be offering masterclass in March? Us being a small ministry, there's always more places for me to be than I can be. So what I do is try to be where I can be of the most use to our members. And at this point, I'm not sure. It's certainly off to a good start. We've had more than 20 for this month's masterclass. And if I feel like there's enough interest to have 20 or more in March, I will do it again. I can't call that yet, but I would say it's looking good. I'm in maintenance mode, so can I add carbs? Carbs are always allowed on our program. So in Fast Track, you learn that you can have category 3 complex carbs and category 5 fruit, and even category 6 superfoods have quite a few carbs in them. Most of them do. So we're not afraid of carbs at all. We just, when we're trying to lose weight, we've got to make sure that we have enough lean protein and fibrous carbs with the complex carb or fruit. And that means that you're going to have to understand food combining, and you're going to put lean proteins like, for example, chicken breast, lima beans, and broccoli, or chicken breast, lima beans, and a salad. That's a 1, 2, 3. So lima beans are a category 3. Let's say I want a potato. I could have always had that. I hope you haven't needlessly excluded carbs thinking you couldn't have them, because you could have them. So if I'm craving a potato, I grill me some chicken breast or some pork tenderloin, have my half of a potato. a little 0-calorie butter spray, some fat-free sour cream, and some asparagus. So you can have carbs in. I'm not afraid of carbs. The trouble with carbs is people love them, and you got to really monitor the portion when you have a weight loss goal. So if you do have a carb-containing meal, you got to keep it category 3. You got to keep those carbs to about a 1/4 cup. Fruit, it usually comes in the perfect portion size. That's the way God made it. You just put it with lean protein and fibrous carb, and you're good to go. For maintenance, the difference is, this is the major difference. Ding, 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 teaching moment. When you reach maintenance, I'd much rather somebody have an apple as a snack by itself than a meal replacement bar. When you're in weight loss, I'd rather, not a meal replacement, but a snack bar. You know, there's snack bars and things like that, processed snacks that we allow in the weight loss mode because they control insulin. Well, once we're not as afraid of insulin and we get into maintenance, it's fine to have a piece of fruit as your snack by itself in maintenance. Now, you still want to monitor your weight and have like a line in the sand. Like I've got my line in the sand. When I go over 200 pounds, I go right back into weight loss mode. If I get 10 pounds over my ideal weight, right back into weight loss mode. And then I drop this philosophy. But let's say I'm in maintenance. Oh, I love to have an orange by itself, some watermelon by itself. So in maintenance, we've paid the price and we get to do that unless we go over our line in the sand number. Then we got to go back into weight loss mode. See, it's easier for me to lose 10 pounds than it is 100 again. So as soon as I hit that number, 200 pounds, 200, I'm back in weight loss mode until I get way back under weight. And then, you know, I'll start having fruit by itself again as a snack because I love fruit. You also, when you're in maintenance mode, you can increase your carbohydrate. You shouldn't have them by yourself like a potato. You shouldn't be eating a potato by itself unless it's one of your 12 holidays. Then you can do that. You get holidays. We're talking about perfect days. So if I'm wanting a potato, guess what? Now I get to have, instead of a 1/4 cup, how much can I have in maintenance, everybody? As long as I combine the right foods with it. Anybody remember? 1/2 cup, Joni, good job. That's it. So we just get a little more. We still want to combine foods the right way. So yeah, you can add carbs. Just remember, have a plan because you will slowly gain. You will slowly gain. Most likely you will slowly gain when you get into maintenance. When we don't have a mission to get to an ideal weight and we reach that ideal weight, now that mission is accomplished, we tend to get willy-nilly. And over time, we might put on a little bit. A woman that's not 6'3" like me, you smaller frame, you may want to make your line in the sand 5 or 6 pounds and then go right back into weight loss mode. So yeah, you can have those carbs. Just got to do them the right way. That's what's great about Shibboleth. Knowledge is power. You want to work your abs, back, and upper thighs. Greta, I think that's probably a lot to unpack here because there are at least a dozen ab exercises that I would recommend, half a dozen back exercises, half a dozen quad exercises. It sounds like you probably need a one-on-one. I am going to be doing some videos next month for my master class on how to use bands. So you might want to consider that master class if you're not already in it. And then I'm happy to help you with specific exercises that can help you work those areas. But I'm proud of you. That's great that you're wanting to achieve more than just weight loss. I wish everybody had that mindset. Does speed walking help with toning abs, back, upper thighs? Brisk walking helps with everything. Helps with cognitive decline. It's one of the best brain exercises there is. I prefer people walk 4 miles to 4.5 miles an hour. If you can walk 5, even better. And if you walk with tight abs, as everyone should, when I say tight abs, I mean, if somebody, think of it like this, if you knew somebody was going to punch you in the stomach, how would you tighten it? And then every exercise you do, everything you do, really, it'll help your back health. That's how I end up with a herniated disc, improper form with an exercise. So if I kept my abs tight, that probably wouldn't have happened. So yeah, anything squatting, body weight squatting with abs tight really work the abs, and a lot of folks don't realize that. Speed walking helps with the thighs. I've got good legs, and I do very little for my legs other than walking. I didn't want big legs. I wanted very toned legs. And I've got a problem area. It's called my love handles. But I have some of the best looking, tightest legs you'll ever want to see. And most of that comes from walking, because I can't do a lot of body weight squats anymore. It puts too much pressure on my spine. So most of my leg work is body weight squats, lots of high repetition body weight squats, band squats. Band squats don't hurt me. I do a lot of band squats and walking. Walk. You got it. Great job. Linda says, I gained 5 over the holidays, but I've lost it. Back to maintenance. That's the way it works. It's this philosophy. Work hard, play hard. That's how I eat. That's how I eat. When I'm in weight loss mode, 1 or 2 hollow meals a week, that's it. When I'm in maintenance mode, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I probably am even a little more restrictive than I am in weight loss mode, so that I can take off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I put on weight those 3 days. And then by Tuesday of the next week, it's off again. It's a beautiful lifestyle. Yeah, Polly, little complacence there. You done so good. It happens to all of us. We're fellow servants. We're all faced with that. I've done it. You've done it. We get to that goal and the pain is alleviated some. And then slowly but surely we start putting the pounds back on. That's why we need that line in the sand number. When I put on that extra 10 pounds these days, because I'm having more than 6 holidays, I drop it like it's hot. I start acting like I'm 100 pounds overweight again. I'm terrified of ever going back to 300 pounds. So I treat 10 pounds of weight gain like it's as serious a health crisis as 100 pounds was. So you can get it back, but sometimes you need to revisit your why, your vision board. I don't know how our members stay motivated without a vision board. I have them all throughout the house. We spent a lot of time last year showing you these vision boards, and showing you the one digitally, showing you the one on my phone, showing you all my journals. I have to do something to keep my mind, body, and spirit in alignment. We talked about this yesterday. There's 3 of us. There's our mind, there's our body, and there's our spirit. And on that totem pole, our body is at the bottom, but we often let our body tell our mind and spirit what we're going to do. What we've got to do is get our body under subjection to our mind, and our mind under subjection to our pure mind, the spirit. And then we all bow to the Holy Spirit. And when we do that, we start walking in step with the Holy Spirit. It's easy, but too many of us, we let our body do all of the leading. And our body's like a child. Our bodies are only interested in instant gratification and pain avoidance. That's all. Remember that. Another teaching moment. That's all your body is into. It can't help it. It's nature. Your body, your mind and spirit is what separates you from being an animal. Right? You can't get mad at your body. You can't beat your body up. It's just doing what your body does. And if you're not in charge, if you're not the adult in the room and you're letting your body have free reign, then it's interested in instant pleasure and pain avoidance. That's it. So we got to watch letting our nature lead the way, because we're going to fall for every trick that an Oreo plays on us if we do that. So I have my vision board. I shake myself every day. Who am I going to let lead the charge today? My body or my mind and spirit? Oh yeah, Greta, thank you for today. You made the class. Didn't have any good questions. Didn't have very many questions that we could deep dive into but yours. So thank you for being a great part of the Lunch and Learn today. Thank you, Sheila. Amanda says, another question. I have been gaining and losing the same 5 pounds this month. Well, probably need some unpacking of your journal. Are you journaling, Amanda? And I see a couple more questions I'll get to. I'm going to go backwards. I've been losing and gaining the same 5 pounds. Are you journaling? Okay. I would ask one of our mentors to check your journal. You shouldn't be gaining and losing the same 5 unless you're having too many holidays or you're operating accidentally in a calorie surplus. It all boils down to insulin control and ending your week in a calorie deficit. So a lot of times our calorie deficit isn't really deep enough. And then when we're having our holidays, we're having such a surplus of calories that all of a sudden, whatever calorie deficit we had through the week, we just ate it up. So the closer you get to goal, a little more difficult this can become because you're not getting in as much of a calorie deficit doing the same thing you did when you might have been carrying more weight. So you may have to pick up the activity or you may have to eliminate an eating episode, but yet still getting enough protein. It can become a little more challenging depending on how close you're getting to go. But our mentors would be happy to vet your journal and figure out what we can do to help you stop yo-yoing that five pounds. I know how terribly frustrating that can be. Without knowing all of your specific numbers here in a public setting, I wouldn't be able to give you any specific advice. I can just tell you it's most likely, even if accidentally, you're balancing your calories. In other words, you're more of in a maintenance mode. But let me know how you want to proceed and how you want our help, and I'll try to help. Amanda, the best way to look at that, if you don't mind, can you tell me what your ideal weight is? What weight do you want to be? Your utopia weight. Thank you, Linda. I'll start answering some other questions. Number one tip to overcome a plateau, stick to the program. And I mean that with a lot of love. Consistent, perfect days. Usually when people hit a plateau, now a plateau is not you stayed the same weight for 2 or 3 days. A plateau is with strict adherence, you've been on the program for 3 weeks and nothing's budged, nothing's moved. In that case, we got to do the same thing that we're doing for Amanda right now. That's what it boils down to. We got to tighten the screws on everything. Now, if you're just talking about a couple of days, no, but we got to really look at, now y'all know, and I haven't had any takers in a long time. I'm happy to vet a journal for you myself. I'm happy to, with no charge. All I ask is that you let me do it publicly so we can have the benefit for the benefit of all. And then I would share screen, go through your journal and point out all the things that might be causing the plateau. But probably if you just follow the advice I'm about to give Amanda, you'll see that perceived plateau you break through. Hey, Cheryl, wanting last night's class? It should be in the video library later. And if you registered for it, you'll get the class notes later today. I'm running a bit behind, but it will be today. So did you register, Cheryl? Okay, Amanda said my ideal weight is 180. So Amanda, no matter how much someone wants it to work differently, this is the way it works. So if you're not sedentary, you don't have to be a workout juggernaut. If you're semi-active, take your ideal weight. Now, this doesn't work just based on calories. This number that I've come up with because of 20 years of experience is simple, but it's based upon if you're following the Shibboleth shield. All bets are off if you're following a point system of some type. This assumes insulin control. So I take the number 8 and I come up with 1,440 calories. You've got to stay below that number on your perfect days and your holidays if you want to see consistent weight loss without losing 5 and gaining 5. And then you will get to your target, your ideal weight pretty quickly, as long as you're following the Shibboleth shield and getting enough protein in. Based upon the number that you gave me there, we need to see you getting, trying to get about 90 grams of protein a day. So if that's in 3 eating episodes, what I would do, I would not do what I'm about to show you. One might do the math this way. 3 eating episodes into 1,440 calories means I should have 480 calories per eating episode. If you were disciplined enough to make sure that the food combination was right and every meal was spot on 480, great. But we know from research, studies that have been done, if somebody shoots for 480, they probably going to get 580 or 680. So what I always just tell people, just do this. Just shoot for 300 to 350 calories per eating episode, and you'll stay under your number. You need to be under this number for consistent fat loss. Hope that helps. You're welcome. You're welcome. Just remember consistency, especially being a lady. You know, there's that time of the month. You can be losing fat, but water gain or inflammatory responses mask that fat loss. You're not seeing it. But if you stick with it consistently, weigh the same day each week, same time, and you stick to that number, even on holidays. In other words, my number is 1,600. So on my holidays, I used to hog trough it. I might get 4,000 calories. That worked when I was 300 pounds because I was in such a calorie deficit. I'm not in as big a calorie deficit anymore. So even if I know Friday, Saturday, I'm planning on going out date night or something, and I'm going to want cheesecake, then I will fast until it's time to go to dinner. But what happens is I get to enjoy that holiday. I still stayed under my calorie, my ration number, and I just never see a slowdown in what I'm trying to accomplish. All of my chat's gone on Facebook, just FYI. It disappeared on me. Lynn, hey Lynn. Lynn says, you probably addressed this, but I've been in yellow zone all month after 22 perfect days. I've been doing strength training for 2 months. Does that have something to do with it? It probably does. I get the yellow zone a lot. All it means is be cautious. Doesn't mean anything other than be cautious. In fact, I like the yellow zone better than the green zone. I kind of get complacent. It just means it's picked up on something where you should be cautious, and that shows up a lot when you're in maintenance. Hey, Becky, it's not too late to sign up for the masterclass. You still have plenty of time to get in on that. The masterclass schedule will go out later this week. I would go ahead and get the supplements headed your way so that you can be doing the same thing, implementing the same kind of tools and resources as your other classmates. We're all going to start together and end together. If your supplements are a day or two behind before you get started, it's okay. It just means you'll have a little left over, but those supplements are going to make a difference filling in those nutrient inadequacies that one has when they're in a calorie deficit. Anybody else? There it comes back. I was stalled for 2 weeks, increased the walking for Tiger Challenge this week, 14 pounds in 1 week. A lot was bloating. Yep, exactly. Amen. Angela's killed it, y'all. She's a rock star. A lot of people don't like when I say rock star. I got to come up with a different. She's a child of God. She's killing it. I love living and eating unto Jesus. I would say in the 20 years I've been doing it, I used to do it for just me. I wanted to look better, feel better, look good naked. But since I've had that mental shift and I do it unto Jesus as almost a type of worship, my results are better. I enjoy it more. It's a great way for me to fellowship with God. I can't tell you how many times I will deny myself something allowed on the program that I've earned. I'll secretly, with my intentions, say, no, I'm not going to do that, Lord. And I'm going to do it because I want you to know that I'm thinking about you. I have conversations like that. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but my walk with the Lord has just transformed because I've started at my age. I was telling my mother this morning, I'm digressing a minute, but life it's a strange thing. I told her I'm about to be 52, and for the first time, I'm enjoying my salvation. I'm enjoying living. I'm enjoying life, not taking it so serious. I'm enjoying a lot of stuff these days, thank God. And it's because of everything that I was afraid of. I thought living for the Lord, not just with my mouth, but with my heart, there'd be a lot of sacrifices. And I've actually found more joy in discipline and in my mind and in my heart, and nobody else knowing that my intentions are to fellowship with God. And I just keep getting rewarded and blessed, sometimes not in the ways I wished He would, but it ends up better His way anyway. And I was telling my mother, at 51, and you start thinking about mortality, and this life comes with an expiration date. And I'm just now learning to live. I'd be a better father today. I'd be a better business owner today. I'd be a lot of things. But now what I need to do at my age is redeem the time. Make the most out of the time I have remaining. I hope that touches someone today, and you'll consider doing the same. Oh, thank you, Becky. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Any questions or comments? Angelia says, I feel the same way. We go through, God orders our steps. Everything I went through that I'm like, I really failed. In God's eyes, I didn't fail, just in mine and man's. God knew, and God uses those slip ups, my weaknesses. I thought my weakness was something for me to be ashamed of, and my weakness is actually my glory. God loves my weakness, made me that way, but not for me to bathe in it, but for me to have something to overcome, to let Him help me with, etc. Hey, Kim, glad you started yesterday. It is a lot of information. The fast track, if you forget everything you knew about nutrition and just trust the system, and you go through fast track, a lot of us will make a lot of noise. We've been doing this together for many years. You'll be one of us before long. But if you just cut everything off, go through fast track, earn that fast track badge, and then I would highly suggest you get a mentor appointment and you let them help you with some meal planning based upon your likes and dislikes while you continue learning. This is a lifestyle, so it does take some time, but most people can get through fast track in less than 2.5 hours. Charles, yes, sir. Get those before pictures for me so we can help you next week. It really is simple. You just hear so much, Kim. The basic program is just so simple. And a lot of people, they come learn fast track. They don't want to spend much time in other stuff. They want to move on, but they take that fast track system and it blesses them the rest of their life. You don't need to know everything about nutrition to have the weight loss and wellness success. And then there's those of us that like the deeper dive, and we like the accountability and the connection. But fast track, even though there's a lot more to learn, that's all one would ever need to know to lose weight and keep it off forever. The class is not full. The master class is not full. There's still time to get in that master class. It's good to have options like the challenges to change things up. Yes. And, I built the program based upon me and my craziness. And I have to have a lot of variety, a lot of challenges, a lot of fun things, so little children to inherit the kingdom. That's why we have the wow challenges, fun stuff. I have to do a lot of fun stuff to keep my mind engaged and keep that newness factor involved. So I'm glad you feel similar. April, what would you suggest if the cleanse made me feel weak and lightheaded? What did I do wrong? I don't know. April, I wished I could answer that. The cleanse is nothing but fiber and probiotics. I would suggest that probably it was a low blood sugar moment. Fiber, especially when we consume fiber with very little carbs throughout the day, it's going to further lower our blood sugar. Weakness and fatigue most likely is coming from low blood sugar, but me not being a doctor, I'm not real qualified to answer that question. I would let your doctor look at the cleanse kit and see if he thinks that's something that you should be taking. But I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't think it was very safe, but that doesn't mean it's right for you. But usually has something to do with calorie deficit, blood sugar lows, or one not being able to be consistent with perfect days. When we're having perfect day holiday, I don't think this is you, but when we have perfect day holiday, your body can never adjust and become a fat adapted metabolism. It gets to crying for that sugar. And then we feed it the sugar and we start over again. It's like any addiction. This is for everybody else, not her, because I don't think she's doing this. I think she probably just had a low blood sugar episode due to low calories probably and taking extra fiber. But I don't know, April. I'd have to really, really look deep into what you're doing over the course of 2 or 3 days to figure that out or even offer any meaningful suggestion. It doesn't make me feel weak, and I don't know of anything in it that would make one feel weak. So I guess that's why I'm a little stumped. I think it probably has something to do with your calorie intake more than I do the cleanse kit. What is the master class? I just started the basic fast track yesterday. Probably, Felicia, if you don't feel like you can earn your fast track badge before the end of the week, I'd probably try to catch the master class in March. I don't want you to take on too much too fast. We want you to be a lifelong lifestyle adherent. So we're not in a rush. We'll be doing this for the rest of our life if we want to keep our weight off, and it's fun to do. So I would learn the fast track, lose 10% of your body weight like it says you can do, and then through February, and then jump in there with us for a master class in March. I think it will foster a lot less confusion if you understand the basics of food combining. Your crazy fun stuff has been an answer to a hard place that my health was in. I praise God for Shibboleth, and we praise God for you. Thank you so much. I'm glad a few people understand this wasn't an attempt at having a weight loss company. that this was God's calling. And I'm just doing my best in my own weak way to answer the call of God. And I appreciate others who get that. You can imagine in this world of businesses with customers that many times customers have an expectation out of me that I'm not really capable of fulfilling. I'm more of a minister of wellness because I feel called to do that. What is the website? Blowtorch Fat. Blowtorch Fat isn't a website. It's really a domain that links to a website because it's just easier for me to remember than advocare.com/110-8887. So I got a little name, Blowtorch Fat, because the way I take my supplements along with a good quality eating regimen, it really helps me blowtorch fat, especially effective supplements that fill in nutrient gaps. That has a lot of merit. So I recommend Advocare so that I can only recommend safe and effective supplementation, not gimmicks. And that blowtorchfat.com goes to my Advocare site. And by doing it through my link, you could go straight to them. You don't have to go through me. But by going through me, I can serve you better, and it helps us with funding for our ministry. Not a lot, but it does help some. So I give people my distributorship number, which is blowtorchfat.com. And that goes to the Advocare website, and they have safe, effective weight loss, wellness, sports performance supplements. Yeah, if you quote unquote mess up on the detox, should you finish it? Yes, you should finish it. No one's perfect. We all make mistakes, but go ahead and finish out your kit, even if you had too many holidays. It's not going to hurt you to finish it out. May not help you as much if you spiked your insulin, but it's still going to help. All right. Well, if all hearts and minds are clear, we're going to let you all go. Thank you so much, Greta. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to go work on class notes and returning these emails to those that are going to participate in masterclass with us. And we'll do our next Lunch and Learn Thursday at noon. Good Lord willing, bring those questions or email me your question to answer. If you email me your question that you want answered in Lunch and Learn, I'll have a little more time to think about how to answer it in a more meaningful way. So you can always email me your question. Just expect me to answer it in the Lunch and Learn. TravisJack777@gmail.com. All right, thank y'all. Y'all have a perfect day. We love you in the Lord.